Tech Tips. In today's video, we're going to learn about conversion and more about strings. So first what I want you to do is I want you to go make a Python script that will be able to tell your age based on your birth year. So what I'm going to do, we make a variable called birth year. Again, separate the words with underscore like I told you from last time. That's to do birth year. Then do input. After that, do what is your birth year? Question mark, then colon or style, preferable if you want. Then after that, we can do some simple math. So age equals to the current year, which is 2026, for me at least. And after that, you can do birth year. So as you can see, I just need to do that. And it should take this input from here to here, as that minus this. As that, you tell the person, again, use F strings, these you can use them from last time. As I do, your age is age. As to that, boom. Now, let's run this program. Okay, what's my birth year? My birth year is 2012. And as you can see, we have an error here. So as you can see, this is the error right here in red. And first of all, there's also several things. First, you can see right here, it tells you the file where this happens. Now this won't be useful for you for some time because in beginner programs, your code usually happens on one file. But in more complex programs, code usually happens over multiple files. And it's nice to know where it happened. So you can see, this is where the file is. As that, it will tell you where specifically the error is in Python, which is really nice. Some programming languages don't support this. As that, you can see the same right here. As that, you see the specific error down here. It says a type error. It says unsupported types for minus sign right here, for int and str. Now, int is just another way to say integer, which in Python is a whole number. As that, str is just a string like we learned from last time. So, what's wrong here? Well, whenever you have an input from here, you're getting a string, and that's basically just a bunch of characters. So imagine trying to minus some numbers minus a character. Obviously, that won't work. You don't do 2026 minus, for example, like 2012. It thinks of this as characters and not as numbers. So Python errors out because how it's supposed to do that, right? So here's when the conversion becomes useful. In Python, you convert code into different types. For example, you can convert a string into a number using this int right here. Like I said before, int is for integer. What I do is put int here in front of it, and then put a colon around the variable. As that, let's try this again. So that's that, I'm going to do it again, 2012. As you can see, my age is 14. So now it works. There's also different types of conversion, not just int. There is int, like we just said. So there's just a str, which can convert things into strings. There is bool, which is boolean, true or false from last time too. And after that, there's also float, which as previously discussed, was basically just decimals. So you convert different objects into that too. To the problem I gave you. So first, I'm just going to make a variable called weight, as that in pounds. As I'm going to make an input. This you need to get input from the user. Otherwise, how will you know? As I'm going to ask the user, what is your weight in pounds? This is that, question mark, colon, in a space. Then, after that, I'm going to make a weight, after that, underscore, kilograms. As that is going to equal to weight pounds times 0.45. And after that, we're going to go, so we're going to do print weight kilograms. As that, I focused incorrectly. Okay, that's even more incorrect. Okay, there we go. So, what is the problem here? Now, if you have noticed it, then congratulations, it's this variable right here. And now, the people who don't know, try asking, why? Why is this incorrect? Well, that's because the input you get from here is still in string format. So now you cannot multiply it by a number because that wouldn't make any sense. So what we do is we convert it into number. There you go. So now let's run it. I would say about 100 pounds. As you see in kilograms, 45 kilograms. We're going to learn more about strings. So we already learned that in Python, strings can come in double quotations, single quotations, or even triple, double, or triple, single, as you can see. Now this is for a lot of use cases like I showed in the last videos, so check them out if you want to recap them. Now we'll learn something different. We'll learn how strings can be interacted with the bracket syntax. Now the bracket syntax is very important in Python. You'll use it a lot in lists and dictionaries, which you'll see later. And it can also be applied to strings. For example, let's say you have a string, let's call it Python. As that, let's see clip 2. This is Python. Now after that, you have a string that goes to this is Python. So now what you can do is you can do several things with this. First, we can put this here. As that, put this inside a print statement. You can see the result of what we're going to do here. Now, I need to teach you something else too. In Python, the way that characters are indexed in here, as you call them, it starts from the first character, obviously. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This means that for each character, there's a number associated with it. Now, this might seem a little confusing at first, but I'll tell you what I mean by this. With this syntax, you can exclude or include certain characters in Python. For example, with a 1, it calls the second letter of this thing. Now, you're probably asking, well, this is 1 here. Why are I calling the second letter? Well, Python starts from 0 as it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you run this, you see AH, because that is the second letter here. Now, we can also do negatives, which isn't in a lot of programming languages. You go -1, which is following the same logic. If this is 0, then we just go back around here, and this should be -1. So you run this, it should be n, and yep, it's n right here. So there's also more things you can do with this too. For example, we can also use this colon syntax. Now, if we do this, you'll see that it only includes these 3 letters. What does it do? What it does is everything that is within this and this character are printed out here. Now, as you can see, this is the second character. Let's see 1. As is that, second, third, fourth, fifth, that's that, 6. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're probably wondering, well, why isn't there an I here, right? Well, that's because this is inclusive, which means that it includes the thing there. For example, it has the H over here because it corresponds to 1. But the I over here, even though it corresponds to the 5, is included because it's exclusive. You also do this too. As you run it, see, it includes everything except the first character. Over here. And this also goes both ways. It also goes here. So let's say 6 includes the first 6 characters, technically, as you see here. Now, Python, this is assumed to be 0 over here. It's just implicit. So even if you run this, it is going to be the same. After that, if you just put anything there. It also actually works too. This is especially useful for long strings, and I'll tell you why. This syntax right here basically just copies whatever's inside this string right here. This is not including or including anything. Python 2 is already just including everything. So, let's do something different. Let's make a really long string. Like this is Python, which is better than nothing. And after that, we do Python, or misspelled Python. As that, we can equal it to Python. After that, you can do boom. After that, you can print this Python script right here. After that, you see it prints this whole thing out too. Hi everybody, thank you for watching today's lesson. I hope you learned a lot from it. If you could consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot.